So the reason there's been people out there that have wanted to convince others that we didn't go to the moon, well, it's because they don't want you to find out why we were the first on the moon and why we were able to go at all, and because it might infuriate you. See, we wouldn't have been able to get to the moon if it hadn't been for Operation Paperclip. And I guess everybody was in. I guess I thought Operation Paperclip was hidden and was declassified later. No, everybody knew. Americans knew. The president was against the military-industrial complex bringing these Nazi scientists here. But see, by the end of World War II, all the military-industrial complex cared about was, wait, Russia's trying to get to the moon, so we've got to get there first. So in order to get there first, we're going to take all the Nazi scientists. Most of them, 1,500. And see, during the Holocaust, the Nazi scientists were doing such horrible experiments on people. And a lot of those experiments were doing experiments, seeing how much people could handle with high altitude conditions. And they always died. But that would have helped those Nazi scientists to make sure that our astronauts get to the moon, and don't die on the way because of all of the horrific experiments they did on the Jews during World War II. So even though Hitler wasn't interested in space exploration, he wanted those Nazi scientists to build ballistics and rockets, and that's what they were willing to do, and they were willing to do all sorts of experiments on people. But those scientists were interested in space exploration. So by the time World War II ended, and then the science and tech decide that we're going to, like they always do, we're going to disregard the values of the Constitution. We're going to disregard what the people want, what the president says, because we just want what we want. Same attitude as today. They just did it didn't care what the president said. And it's because of those Nazi scientists doing those experiments that, it eventually then led to us getting on the moon. So obviously this is World War II. So experiments, including high-altitude experiments on concentration camp prisoners to study how the human body responded to low oxygen and pressure conditions similar to what might be experienced during flight or in space. These experiments involved locking prisoners in pressure chambers to simulate extreme altitudes, often resulting in death. The man who designed the V-2 rocket also helped America reach the moon. His name was von Braun, something like that. But he wasn't the only Nazi scientist. And he had a plan for deeper space exploration that was ahead of its time, it appears. Of course, so it's like this. It's just the continuing pattern of we will put tech ahead of the people. We will put tech and science ahead of the Constitution. We will let the military-industrial complex do whatever the hell they want. And that's the same situation that goes on today. But do you see tech as any different than these type people? I don't. It's the same mentality. They may not have, obviously weren't involved in the Holocaust, but I don't think they would have had any problem with any of it. I mean, they don't have a problem on all of their social media platforms to silence people. They don't want to give Americans the right to free speech, and they make all these excuses about it. And then government, it's ridiculous to think that you can, we live in a police state, literally, because of tech and science. All of our leaders just disregard it because they just want you go about your business. But you can see it. It's everywhere. All to serve the same people that, Operation Paperclip was serving, which was the military-industrial complex. People that don't care about our Constitution, don't care about America's values, don't care about anything but themselves. Same people like that are in big tech today. So just wanted to give a little history lesson there. Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to go to the moon if it wasn't for those Nazi scientists. A hateful Trump supporter, or a hateful Trump hater on my YouTube channel had said, what did I think of Trump acting like Kim Jong-un at the parade yesterday? You know, you Democrats and liberals, you always step in it, because it was, do you realize it was the Army's 250th birthday yesterday? And no president has honored our military like that since 1991. So Trump was honoring them. Because most countries say we don't really honor our military, and I would agree, we don't. But that's what that was about. So while your hateful hearts just saw it as a way to rip Trump and act like he's being like Kim Jong-un, you're totally disregarding the fact that it was the Army's 250th year 50-year birthday. And that should be honored. Just because it happened to fall on Trump's birthday, that's just the way it landed. But he was actually holding them up while you took the opportunity to find whatever you could to rip on Trump about, instead of seeing it for what it was, which was honoring our military. So, again, for you Trump haters out there, you really should do some reflecting. I keep saying it, but I don't think you'll ever do it because, well, I think you like to stay in the hate. But you should do some reflecting, because then maybe you could have seen what that parade was all about. And it was about honoring the men and women that have died for this country on the right values, unlike the people in science and tech and the military-industrial complex who seem to always be on the wrong side of America's values. So I'm absolutely fine and did not think he looked anything close to Kim Jong-un. But of course, the liberals and the Democrats, who can't find a bit of love for anything American in them, would only see that whole parade as a way to rip on Trump. Yeah. That was a great way for you to honor the Army's birthday.